Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales of Lost Stories, a place where you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by me, your host, Tiger. All the stories on this channel are in the first person perspective, and you'll find some very odd versions of fanfictions for sure. Now this is actually the second time I've made this channel, and also the brother channel, Tiger Tales, where we have original stories and fanfictions in the third person perspective uploading there. So if you could check out both channels, subscribe and check out the channels as I upload them, the videos, because I had to start anew, that'd be awesome. Let's dive in with today's story. We're diving back into the world of the Color Matrix, a story where Ace, my character, enters something called the Color Matrix, which allows him to put his consciousness into different universes and different versions of himself, and he gets to explore the multiverse whilst keeping it in balance. So let's dive in with today's story. You may know this universe very well if you're a big fan of the Orville, or if you've watched it at least somewhat. If not, then you may get a little confused, but you should at least be able to enjoy it anyway. So let's dive in with the Color Matrix, World 2, Kaylon Controlled. My name is Ace, and I use the Color Matrix to keep the multiverse in check, and use it to explore the vast multiverse. I woke up and I carried on with my normal routine. I had some breakfast, I drank plenty of water, I then ran on the treadmill, and today I decided to play some basketball. I then sat there and scrolled through the universe catalogue. I found one that piqued my interest, a blacklisted universe, which usually stated some form of space travel. This particular universe had a union of different alien species which aligned themselves for better life, including humans. They fought some race called the Krill, a reptilian white-skinned race who wanted to take over the universe, or something like that. They had very strange alien races catalogued, like the Mocklans, a all-male race which disputed the best type of weapons in the galaxy. This universe was very exciting for sure. Daisy, I want to know more about my vessel here, I asked.
Yes, sir. There is a few universes with the same format. The base universe has a ship called the Orville. There is an Orville in almost every universe that spins off this one. The one particular here has your vessel being a helmsman.
Daisy explained. I'm a pilot here? Okay, that's kinda cool. What race am I? I asked.
You would be human, sir.
Daisy replied. I slumped in my chair in disappointment. Okay, let's travel the depths of space, shall we? I grinned. Then I picked the universe. Alright then, Daisy, load this universe up. I'm gonna get myself ready, I told the AI.
Yes, sir, of course.
Daisy replied. I went up to my bed and I took my shirt off. I lay down onto the bed itself, and suddenly a set of metal straps clamped around my ankles and secured me in. I placed my hands on the pads and the needles stabbed my fingertips and in the middle of my palms. Then the long needle planted itself in the back of my neck, and my struggled to keep my eyes open finally appeared. I tried to keep my eyes open, but they finally closed. I could hear Daisy reading out my vital signs, but the darkness took over and her voice faded away. I woke up in the universe. The alarm was going off. I reached over and turned it off. I climbed out of my bed and got dressed into my union uniform. It was orange due to my rank, and then I departed from my quarters. I walked down the hall and found my way to the bridge, and I was greeted by the crew. There was Captain Ed Mercer, First Officer Kelly Grayson, Lieutenant Bortus, and the Kaylon known as Isaac, an artificial life form. They all stood there and walked up to me. Lieutenant Ace Fall, I hope you slept okay, Kelly asked me. I did, thank you, I nodded. Alright Ace, with Gordon out of action for a while, we need a good helmsman, and you are recommended as one of the best, Ed told me. Thank you, Captain, I can't wait, I replied. Everyone walked back to their stations, and I took my seat at the front. The captain and first officer sat behind me. I started to pilot the ship. The Orville took off, and we headed to a sector owned by the Kaylon themselves. Luckily for us, we had recently become friends with the Kaylon. I pulled the ship out of quantum speed, and we came to a slow halt in front of a massive asteroid field. What do you want me to do, Captain? I asked. This seems like a good chance for you to show off your skills here, Ace, the captain replied. Aye, aye, sir, I barked. Then I inched the ship forward and I lowered it down underneath the asteroids. Then I pulled it up sharply, cutting it between two more rocks. Then a big rock floated up before us. Sir, we have been, how do you call it, sandwiched between several rocks, Bortus reported. It seems like this asteroid field is moving at a decent speed, making it moving impracticable. Isaac informed us. Captain, I said as I turned around to face them. Ed, we can't make any rash decisions here, Kelly told him. I agree. Ace, what are you thinking? He asked me. I think I can get us out of here, but I'll need blasters, and I'll need you to trust me, I told the captain. Ed looked at Kelly, then at Bortus. They both nodded at Ed. Then he turned to me. Do what you think is right, Ace, Ed demanded. I nodded at him. Then I turned back around and made the Orville tilt slightly upward, and I bolted up as high as I could before I came to a rock. I then arched the ship up, then all the way back down, flying straight down. I then blasted the rocks that were now in front of us, and it blew it into smithereens. We flew through the rubble, and I made it a hard left, leaving the asteroid field. It was now hovering over us. Everyone cheered and clapped. Nicely done, the captain said to me. Thanks, sir, I grinned. I turned back around and carried on our course. We looked up at the rocks floating above us. Suddenly we saw a Kaylon ship. It was all battered and destroyed. Painted all over the ship was damage. I built the Orville close up to the Kaylon vessel and put the ship to a stop. I assume we're under the agreement that we're going to investigate this damaged vessel, Kelly suggested. Yes. Take Isaac, Bortus, and why don't you take Ace? Captain told her. I stood quickly. Me, sir? But I'm the helmsman, I asked confused. Yeah, but I think after the stress of the asteroid field, I think you've earned some time to stretch your legs, the captain told me. Aye, aye, sir, I said with a salute and a small smile. Then I followed Bortus and Kelly. Isaac walked next to me and we headed for the hangar, walked into the shuttle, and between me and Bortus we lifted off and left the Orville. We headed for the Kaylon vessel and landed inside. We walked out of the vessel and entered the Kaylon one. It was dark with some dim red lights due to the backup lights. We walked around, Kelly kept her communicator out and scanned the ship. As we walked around the dead hallway, we reached a corner, and as we turned, two red lasers came flying past us. Bortus grabbed me by the back of the collar and yanked me back, the lasers flying past me, inches from my face. Whoa. Thanks, I turned and said to him. Bortus nodded in response. Kelly turned her head around the corner, then turned to us. It's a Kaylon. It's in attack mode, Kelly whispered to us. Let me try, Isaac muttered. He then walked himself out and stood there. Please, stop and hold your fire. We are with Union, Isaac called out. The Kaylon does not work with Union, the defending Kaylon yelled out. I am pleased to say that the Kaylon is actually part of the Union now. There is no need to be defensive, Isaac explained. You are the defensive known as Isaac. You could be, of course, trying to lure me into a trap, the rogue Kaylon replied. We are here in peace. We didn't bring weapons. We thought all Kaylon were linked. Kelly called out from the corner. We are here, but we are damaged. My crewmates destroyed. I had to act and initiate the separation protocol, the rogue one explained. Isaac turned to us. The separation protocol is used if we ever get rendered useless or unable to return. It is used to sever our connection to the matrix that connects us, making it so no one can ever hack into our mainframe, Isaac told us. So he has no idea, Bortus asked. Precisely, Isaac responded. So now what? I asked. Leave now, the Kaylon replied. Please, let us help you, I called out. Then the Kaylon started firing again. Isaac's face opened up and his two laser guns unfolded from his head, and he started firing back. I turned around, picked up a piece of metal. I then bolted past Bortus and Kelly. I knew I had to do something to help. I jumped out from the corner and tossed a long piece of metal at the Kaylon, and it smacked it in the hand, knocking him off course. I hit the floor hard with a thud. Then Isaac shot the Kaylon in the chest several times, knocking it off its feet. Bortus offered me a hand, and I took it. I was pulled up by my feet with great strength. It was almost like I was a feather. I then walked over to the Kaylon with the rest of the crew. We should carry it back to the ship, Bortus suggested. I think that's a good idea, I agreed. Then Bortus picked up the Kaylon and we took it to the shuttle. I started the shuttle up and we took the Kaylon back to the Orville and carried it to the engineering bay. I gave my mission details to the captain and then I headed to my quarters. I walked up to my synthesizer and pressed the button. Glass of scotch, I ordered, and on the white circle a small glass of scotch appeared. I took it and started sipping it. I sat there and ran my hands through my hair. I took a deep breath and then I thought about the Kaylon, their guns, their culture. It baffled me slightly. if you could call it that. I then thought about Isaac and how he walks around with no weight on his shoulders, and then it hit me. What if we had another Kaylon, but without the awkwardness of Isaac's lax humanity? I downed my drink quickly and then I bolted to find Lamar. We worked on it for several days, at least 3 passed, simply, and me and Lamar found a way to make it work. I then ran to the bridge. "Captain, you need to see this," I said, through my lack of breath. "Did you do it?" the captain asked. I nodded it with an excitement, and then Kelly and Ed followed me with a rush to their step. We rushed down to engineering, and Lamar was stood there next to the deactivated Kaylon. "What's going on?" Kelly asked. "Well, Ace here came up with an idea, and I think it's almost genius," Lamar replied. "Well, let's see it then," Ed blurted with a grin. Kelly looked at Ed confused. Lamar handed me the controller. I looked at him with confusion. "Your idea, man. You take control of it," Lamar said to me. I took the controller and pressed the screen on it, and the Kaylon activated. I then started pressing the holographic analog sticks to make the Kaylon move. I then pressed several of the buttons in the combination, and the Kaylon waved at Ed and Kelly. "Boom!" Lamar called out. "This is kind of awesome," Ed cheered. "So your plan was to turn Kaylon into a video game? Or a remote-controlled toy?" Kelly asked us. "Well, no, this might be helpful. We have a fighter who can fight, easy to fix, and I can control it," I replied awkwardly. "Okay, fine. I guess it's kind of cool," Kelly sighed. "Thanks," I smiled. "But you can tell Isaac," Kelly smiled, then she walked away. "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that." "Good luck," Ed said, then he followed Kelly. But, Lamar, help me out here," I blurted. "I helped you with this." "This was your idea? You can tell the robot," Lamar grinned. "Ah, crap," I muttered. I placed the controller down, and suddenly everything went black. I woke up on the bed.
"Sir, your 8-hour limit has been reached,"
Daisy told me. "Thank you," I muttered as the needles left my body and I sat up.
8 hours in this universe for you was 4 days, 5 hours, and 26 minutes in that Pacific universe. How do you feel, sir?
Daisy asked me. "Good. A little foggy, but good," I replied. I put my shirt back on and went to the table and wrote in my data log my experience. Something I had to do for each universe. This was my second attempt now at seeing another universe through the version of myself. I liked this universe a lot. It was fun, and the history and the culture brought by different alien races was very intriguing. I saved the data log, and I waited for dinner, kind of hoping that maybe I could revisit this specific universe once again. And there we have it, guys. Another episode or chapter of The Color Matrix. This is a lot of fun, and with this sort of storyline, I can delve into any form of fiction I deem enjoyable, or I want to give a go. This gives me the ability to test out different fictions I want to write in, to test my abilities, but also test my creativity as well. Is there any particular form of fiction you want to see Ace go into? Then let me know down in the comments down below, and I'll try my best to see what I can do. I do actually have a couple ideas already, spanning over movies and TV shows and video games and a lot, so I'm very much looking forward to it. That being said, let's do some shout outs, shall we? Of course, this is the secondary channel, the second attempt at making a channel, so make sure you subscribe to this one. And the brother channel, Tiger Tales, which of course is the second attempt at doing that, so make sure you go check out that too. Also, let's talk about the 3 Ranger Bros. I wouldn't be here without them. You've got Mark the Red Cornish Ranger with his podcast Nursery Comics, and Cosplay Dude 67 with his podcasts Power Rangers Universe 19, Storytime, Sailor E, and his YouTube channel Nostalgia Time. Go check out all 4 of them and Mark's podcast because there's some amazing stories on all of them. We're in association to Zero to Hero. The Balkan Squad of Podcasting, Billy and Jim, return every single week, every Friday, with some banter between nostalgia, between Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and aliens abducting us, and all sorts of stuff. Go check them out, they're a lot of fun. Go check out Jay with his podcast, If You Give a Dad a Podcast, which is literally that. It's a podcast where he's dad, and he gets to interview all sorts of cool people. So you might want to go check that out too. Once again, please subscribe to this channel, and I shall see you guys really soon.